future generations to know that we did everything we could to preserve a good life for them. I don't know why more seniors aren't engaged. It's kind of perplexing to me. It's kind of understanding that at our age, you sort of want to retire and take it easy. You've done your work. I don't think our seniors are climate deniers, but I think they've decided maybe just not to listen. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe we don't have to change everything we do. But the fact is, our generation, the boomers, we have enjoyed a booming economy because of fossil fuels.
Hello, and welcome to Not Born Yesterday, a podcast dedicated to older adults and the challenges and joys of aging. I'm Miriam Goodman.
Not Born Yesterday is brought to you by Next Village SF. Next Village SF is a local nonprofit providing older adults in the Northeast neighborhoods of San Francisco with support to help them age in place. I'm your co-host, Lynn Winter Gross. Not Born Yesterday, our guests often recommend volunteering as an important way to use our new free time and to stay connected to our communities. When talking to listeners in private, many of them ask us, how can I volunteer? Where should I go? What should I do? What if I don't have the skills? The answer is look around you. There are so many needs and so much to learn.
Today, we're talking about volunteering with a project that affects all of us, no matter our age or volunteering skill level. More than 52 years ago, the first Earth Day was established in the United States. It provided a voice to an emerging environmental consciousness and put environmental concerns on the front page, which led to the creation of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency.
Today, Earth Day is widely recognized as the largest volunteer action in the world, marked by more than 1 billion people every year. People of all ages and nationalities are taking to the streets to demand new ways of reducing global warming and to promote clean energy. No matter where you are, Earth Day should be every day. Our guest today has been fighting for climate issues for years. Nadine Young is a volunteer with Elders for Climate Action, the environmental branch of Elders Action Network. The organization was formed in 2014 to get elders involved in climate action. Now there are active chapters in 13 states.
Nadine is head of communication for Elders Climate Action. She's a retired finance attorney and a longtime client activist. Welcome to our show, Nadine.
Thank you for having me, Lynn and Miriam.
Nadine, when we talk about activism, we normally think of the younger generation, not necessarily older adults getting involved. We read about teenager Greta Thunberg, but rarely about our older climate activists. Can you tell us why older adults should be interested in Elders Climate Action, and why are you specifically reaching out to this generation?
Right. Well, at Elders Climate Action, we're all volunteers, and the reasons we do this, I think, we all share the same reasons. One, we trust science, and science is telling us that climate change is a dire threat to our children and to future generations. But it's also a health threat now for our generation. In the Pacific Northwest heat dome a year or so ago, we saw hundreds of heat deaths. There's terrible air pollution that kills far more people than COVID, and mostly it harms elders. And then when you think about wildfires and hurricanes and weather catastrophes, elders are not as mobile. It's not always easy to evacuate us. And as climate damage gets worse, and we get more vulnerable, the situation for our generation looks more dire too. But also we do this, and we think everybody should. It's a pretty nice planet. We all love nature. We're grieving deeply for the things that we know we're losing. And working with friends on something important like this makes it so much better. It gives us so much comfort to work together on this. And we believe in our generation building a legacy. We want future generations to know that we did everything we could to preserve a good life for them. So I don't know why more seniors aren't engaged. It's kind of perplexing to me. It's kind of understanding that at our age, you sort of want to retire and take it easy. You've done your work. I don't think our seniors are climate deniers, but I think they've decided maybe just not to listen. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe we don't have to change everything we do. But the fact is, our generation, the boomers, we have enjoyed a booming economy because of fossil fuels. We've built wealth at the expense of future generations by burning fossil fuels, and the costs to fix this for the future, it's going to be staggering. And the kids know this. I think it's demoralizing for young people to be leading this fight without all of us right there beside them.
On a personal note, how did you decide to get involved in climate issues?
Until about 2017, I was concerned about climate change, but I thought that it was kind of a remote problem, like glaciers and rising sea levels, and sad, about the polar bears. But then in 2017, I read an article by a journalist named David Wallace Wells, and he now has a book out with the same title, called Uninhabitable Earth. And as one of my members of ECA says, he laid some reality on me. But the thing that really struck me about life in the US is drought. The deepening droughts in the West and the Southwest, and other places around the world. Drought leads to food shortages, which lead to rising food prices, which lead to children going to bed hungry. And then drought leads to water shortages, drinking water shortages. So families are forced to leave their homes to find a place where they can get water, especially poor families. That means they become climate refugees in their own country. And that can cause conflict when people are moving into places where maybe there's not enough water for sharing. So the idea of people fighting over food with their neighbors was horrific to me. So I heard about Elders Climate Action. I signed up because it's an action or organization. We don't just have meetings. And as you said, I co-chair the communications team. And when I get discouraged, I work harder on it. And it makes me feel powerful.
You mentioned that older adults are more vulnerable to climate change for many reasons, but I was also thinking they also consume more of the things that make for climate change. For example, they often heat their homes longer than other people do, or they use personal cars instead of public transportation, just because that's what elders do. So are these issues that your group deals with?
Well, yes, we choose the issues that we focus on for action. I mean, there's too many issues within climate change to just dash about trying to work on all of them. So we decide what we're going to prioritize based on what the scientists say will be most effective. And the thing we're focused on right now is transportation. Transportation in the US accounts for 1/3 of total carbon emissions. So if we fixed our transportation sector, how we get around, we can cut our emissions by 1/3, really with very little inconvenience. We need to get everybody into electric vehicles. We need our kids to go to school in electric school buses and the garbage trucks to be electrified. And yes, that'll cost some money. It'll take some organization, but the technology exists. The electric vehicles are being made. We just need to fund getting them made faster. giving people subsidies to help purchase them and getting them ramped up as quickly as possible.
As a follow-up, so many older adults were involved in political issues when they were younger, when they were working, and now don't exactly know how to get back in. So what are some ways that some older adults can get involved in climate action?
Right. Well, with ECA, we're all about kind of collective action. So if you should decide to join us, go to our website, eldersclimateaction.org. It's free to join. And there you find like lots of educational materials, and we do webinars and things. But we always have actions you can take, and they're always focused actions that other organizations are taking as well. So at our website, for example, we have Elders Promote the Vote. We're working on getting folks to come out in 2022 and 2024 and think about climate change as the deciding issue on which they'll cast their votes. A fun thing we've been doing that's very empowering, there's an app for your cell phone called Climate Action Now. You download it at the App Store, Climate Action Now. And when you open it, you have to sign up and tell where you are. And then every day it gives you actions you can take just by clicking. So it knows you've given it your location. It knows who your congressional representatives are. It knows who your state leaders are. And it'll say, send an email to Representative so-and-so and tell him that you want this. And you click that and you get a little message that says your email has been sent. And then it also tells you how many other people sent the same message to that guy. So it feels very empowering, and it's kind of fun. And, 15 minutes a day, you can actually take a lot of actions knowing other people are doing the same thing, and it has some power.
I was just thinking that younger people, my grandchildren, are learning in school about environmental things, and we really don't have a place to go learn. That's why I was so happy you said that there's an app that you can put on your phone that we could use for education. Would you repeat that in case listeners didn't have a pen or pencil near them when you first mentioned it?
Yes, for sure. It's go to the App Store on your phone and then download Climate Action Now, 3 words, Climate Action Now. And there may be other variations of that phrase, but you want Climate Action Now. And then you have to register like you do for all these other things with your name and your address. And it's actually quite fun. It's a bit addictive. I sometimes get going on it and I find an hour has passed.
As we've discussed, it seems like the climate change issue has been left to the younger generation. What special skills do we as older adults bring?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question. So as I see it, our generation brings massive power to any movement that we want to get engaged on. We are really indispensable. And here's why. There are a lot of us. There are more than 53 million Americans over age 65. That's more than 16% of our population. Our generation holds some serious wealth, as I said, and I know, of course, not everybody is wealthy. I'm not. But AARP reports that if American elders were their own country, it would have the world's 3rd largest economy. So, donate, direct your investments to green investments. We are the largest US voting bloc, and we're informed voters. We pay attention. Politicians care about what we care about if we let them know. And we have free time. we have wisdom, we have a sense of responsibility. If we join the climate effort in large numbers, we can have serious influence.
Well, thank you so much, Nadine. That was great. And I hope everyone listening goes out and does some kind of climate action today. That was Nadine Young, a volunteer with Elders Climate Action.
Thanks a million for having me.
Today in News You Can Use, we have some interesting uses of technology to tell you about. Since the pandemic began, more than 300 nursing homes have closed. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, more than 400,000 workers at long-term care facilities have left the profession. This leaves many nursing homes and assisted living facilities around the country terribly understaffed. Enter robots. You won't find assistive robots in every home or even in every assisted living facility yet, but in a few years, robotic assistants might be found in older people's homes, helping them to care for themselves and providing emotional support. In retirement homes, they could entertain residents or help with cleaning. And in hospitals, they're already taking over some basic tasks, freeing up nurses to focus on patient care.
Will robots replace those healthcare workers and care for the residents? Engineers think they will have different tasks. Some nursing homes already have technology in place. Robots are delivering meals and groceries. They remind residents to take their medications and to stay socially engaged. They can come from room to room and help residents get out of bed or from a fall. To determine how robots might be used in retirement homes, a group of Irish engineers built Stevie, a white robot on a rolling base with short movable arms and a head that displays cartoon eyes and a mouth. In 2018 and 2019, they tested Stevie in a military retirement community in Washington, D.C., a facility with 300 older residents. The idea was to learn from the staff and residents how a robot could improve their experience.
The robot took over some entertainment activities like calling bingo and leading a sing-along, freeing up staff to attend to residents' individual needs. Stevie can do other things many caregivers cannot, such as speak in different languages and display subtitles when it talks. As good as it might sound, ethical questions have been addressed. Will robots take away jobs from the caregivers or just fill in the gaps? And don't people in nursing homes really crave and deserve human interaction?
According to the inventors, robots are not going to replace people, but will augment how people are cared for. Reports are that when robots have been installed, many of the residents enjoy them, as do their grandchildren when they come to visit. Said one resident, our robots never get in a bad mood or they're never tired of having to repeat themselves. I kind of like them. Miriam, I talked to a number of people who are in senior living residences and wanted to tell you what some of them said about this.
Do they like the idea of robots?
No, they hate it. Every one of them hated it, from the director of the residency to the person that works in the kitchen to the residents themselves.
Well, what kind of things do they object to?
Robots will never replace us. We, the workers, are here because people need human interaction. They do not want a robot to deliver their meals. One woman said, I like when the person who helps me in the restaurant says, how are you feeling, Miss Jones? And then says, are you feeling better than yesterday? And I said, I bet they can program a robot to do that. She said, if I had come when robots were here, that's fine, but I'm not ready to all of a sudden have a robot deliver a meal. One of the caregivers in the elevator that I was in said, there is no way, these people need a human connection. There's no way I'm going to have a robot clean your apartment. I'm going to clean your apartment.
I understand the ethical quandary here, but if 400,000 people have left the caregiving community, what are we supposed to do?
Well, add to that the fact of the aging population is increasing. So the one graph is going up and the other graph is going down. And I guess what the robot makers would say is the robots can do the jobs, the menial jobs, and then let the humans do more interaction with the people who are living at the residence. And that's our podcast for today. Our thanks to Nadine Young of Elders Climate Action. You can learn more about Next Village SF by going to their website, nextvillagesf.org. Our theme music is from Hook Sounds, and Jason Dahlstedt is our engineer. And thanks for listening. We would love to hear what you would like us to discover and discuss. Please contact us at nby@nextvillagesf.org. Be well, stay strong, and remember, you weren't born yesterday. I'm Lynn Wintergross.
And I'm Miriam Goodman.